Hey guys, today I have a different type of a video guide for you. I am sure that I am not the only one who experiences periods of drop in my performance in Rainbow Six Siege matches. Each one of us had these moments in either this game or any other competitive setting. Sometimes you just do well, right? You win many engagements, you get the hang of where the enemies are and can predict their actions. You also get jump on them. And so you feel like you are really fucking good. Other times it feels like everyone else is psycho. You pick them and they immediately get a headshot on you. Sometimes you don't even see them. You feel like a copper player, like you make bad decisions and potato a lot, or things just don't go your way. Basically, you are not doing well when playing the game, and it's very hard to pinpoint to exact reason as to why. It just feels like the world is against you. Obviously, we play games to have fun, and it's not fun to get our ass handed over to us time and time again. Naturally, we want to all perform well, we want to help our team, get some kills, and feel like we are good players. And so it can be extremely frustrating to have these periods of doing really poorly. And that's where this video comes in. I have few suggestions for you on how to overcome such slump. Some tips will be about dealing with the frustration and the mental part, but we will also talk about the practical aspect of how to get out of the slump quicker. And for those of you who are particularly interested in getting good in Rainbow Six Siege, I suggest that you check out my ebook guide called Rainbow Six Siege Mastery. It's the best guide you will find on the internet to help you become a better Siege player. The deal is really simple. You either rank up with the knowledge in our guide or we give you money back. Make sure to check out the link in the pinned comment. Alright, now let's dive into the guide on how to get out of slump quicker. First, we will touch on the mental aspect of getting out of the slump. Confidence is very important in competitive setting. In fact, I would say confidence is everything. And confidence is also just as relevant for more traditional sports as it is to esports or any other competitive setting like Rainbow Six Siege matches. I am sure you all experience moments when everything goes well, it seems like you cannot do wrong in a match, and you are getting frags left and right. It's natural to feel like you got this, like you are better than the opponent. But what happens when you are losing your engagements repeatedly? Natural pull is to hesitate and question yourself. You stop basically trusting your skill. Or perhaps you subconsciously start even avoiding gunfights with your enemies. So here's what you should do instead. You need to do opposite of how you feel. So when things are not working out, you have to stay on guard of your confidence and do not allow the doubt to enter the room. So you gotta play as if you were the top fragger on your team. In other words, fake it until you make it. The second tip from the mental aspect of dealing with the slump is to stop stressing about your performance and rank. See, most players put a lot of pressure on themselves when it comes to performance in this game. You need to stop putting pressure on yourself in performing well during the matches because it's not going to help you much. If anything, taking your performance way too seriously makes you play stiff and in very predictable ways. You are way less likely to experiment or take risks when you are concerned about your results and rank. This is especially common when you are actually playing poorly, so you start playing safely, you are less likely to make a crazy run out on your enemy or try some spawn pick. But it's actually the moment when you should start playing with more confidence, like we mentioned in the point before, and stop worrying about how you are performing. Now I want us to move on to a more practical areas, starting with the proper warm-up. Warming up in Rainbow Six Siege is just as important as warming up your muscles before a training or a match in more traditional sports. Your aim, brain, and movement are not going to be as sharp without a warm-up as they would be otherwise. So you may wonder what's a warm-up in Siege? Well, there are three primary ways you can warm up in the game. First is to fire up AimLab or similar application and do some trainings. This will naturally loosen up your hand and improve your eye-hand coordination. You can also jump into arcade with Team Deathmatch or Free-for-All modes available. And third option is to run few terrorist hunts. Out of those three options, I think the best is the arcade with the real enemies, because you are actually experiencing a real in-game scenarios, and the movement during the arcade matches is basically very similar to that during the ranked matches. So it's the best warm-up method. I cannot overstress how important warm-ups are for your own performance. And it's so easy to skip them. Say you turn on your PC and your Discord is popping up, you see your buddies making a squad about to start playing ranked matches. It's so simple to succumb to this temptation to join them immediately, not to lose the opportunity for a match. And personally, when I do so, I always do poorly. At least in the few first matches. Instead, tell them to hold your spot and play one without you. During the time of their match, you warm yourself up and then you are more ready to perform well in ranked match. Do so and you will thank me later. The next tip I have for you on the topic of dealing with the slump is to change your role or playstyle. Sometimes the way you play just stops working temporarily for you. When you notice a drop in your performance while playing your typical role or style, then you should change up your playstyle and switch things up. For example, I tend to be a rather flex player and play whatever my team seems to be missing. In solo queue, that often means that I am performing a hard breach support role or become hard breacher myself on the attack. Or on defense, I usually play anchor. But then say I am in a slump, what I'm normally doing is not working out well. What do? I am changing it up. So when I am in a slump, I try to be more aggressive fragger and roamer, which ties nicely with the first tip about keeping up your confidence and aggression levels. Tip number 5. Change your aspect ratio and FOV settings. This might sound like a silly tip because overall you don't want to mess with your settings all too often, both with the visual settings as well as the control settings. You want to develop muscle memory and you want things to be consistent when it comes to the environment of the game, right? But the thing is that I found success in shaking things up by switching up my FOV, which is the field of view setting, and aspect ratios. What it does, it kinda gets me out of my comfort zone and forces my brain to adjust. And when you are in a slump, that becomes very useful. Sometimes I like to play with narrow aspect ratio of 16:10 or 16:9 and low FOV of say 77. But when I am in a slump, I tend to change my ratio to 4:3 or 3:2 and I increase my FOV to 88 or 90. What I can suggest is that you give it a shot and see how that works for you. And lastly, if none of the above works, I suggest that you take a break. Sometimes you will just be not in the mood for the game. Forcing it may result in you getting more frustrated and not having fun with Rainbow Six Siege. In these situations, I just like to take some time off. I either do something offline or play different genre of games that I like. Or perhaps I just shift to maybe Battlefield or Call of Duty for some other FPS experience. So these are my tips when it comes to dealing with the slump. What are yours? How do you usually approach this drop in the performance in Rainbow Six Siege? Perhaps you have a suggestion that I have not mentioned and might work for other players. If so, drop it in the comment section down below to help others get out of the slump quicker. If you enjoyed this video, then I would appreciate your like. It only takes a moment of your time, but helps the video perform better on this platform. And if you want to see more videos from me on Rainbow Six Siege and other games, then subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your time and I'll see you in the next one.